So me, Chris, and James were all in Nowhere Safe together, and that was our previous project. In the last year of that band, in 2024, we found out our drummer Nick was moving to Florida. We got the wheels turned for, all right, what's the next project? I'd been talking to Susie for a while about trying to start a new band. We had originally met her for a photo shoot for Nowhere Safe, and became quick friends. Went to a lot of shows and stuff together, and I essentially twisted Susie's arm into coming to the first jam session, because I was like, oh, we should start a band sometime. Like, yeah, we should do that. And I was like, yeah, Susie, you want to jam sometime? She's like, sure. Okay, cool. You free on Saturday?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, what about Sunday? That was the first steps with it.
I had just kind of got out of a project. I wasn't really looking to be in another one, but they were at my house. I was photographing their last LP album, right? Yeah, and so I had them knocking down a shed in my backyard that I needed gone. And so I did a time lapse of that. So we were all hanging out, and then that's when Cayman was more assertive. But once we got together, I felt more like at home. Like they made me feel really safe and that I can be vulnerable, and dug the vibe that I was kind of wanting to go for. And then James did not want to drum because James drums for way too many bands. And Moose and I have been playing in city playgrounds for 10 years? 11 years now? But we were at rehearsal for city playgrounds, and you had asked me, like, oh, how's the new band going? I was like, we need to lock down a drummer.
She gave me that look,
do you kind of want to jump in?
I kind of do, yeah.
Yeah. And so he came, and we had Glass Smile. That was the first song we released. We had you hop on that, and I remember you were nervous.
Yeah, James showed me the part, and I was like, y'all want me to play this?
But came and you said, like, we don't give a shit about technique. We just care about you having fun, and it's been a great fit. Yeah. So that's kind of like how it happened. I told them initially, like, I definitely wanted to do something heavy. Coming from the classical background where everything's so rigid and uniformed and perfectionism, and so I wanted something that was more raw. Something more that I could just like let loose. When we got together, I was telling them, like, I definitely want to have like hardcore elements in it, punk, like heavy shit, but I really wanted to have some influence of my Latin background and my mariachi stuff. And I'm a violinist, and I was like, I gotta put violin in it. It has to fit somewhere. So that was like kind of like what I brought to the table.
The first couple bands I ever played in when I was like in high school were all like hardcore-esque bands, so I wanted to get back to that in whatever capacity, or like whatever instrument, although like ideally not drums, because I was already drumming in so many bands. I was like, I would love to do something else. For all of us too at the time, with everything going on in the world right now, like playing heavy aggressive stuff it just didn't feel like the time to like get softer. That just did not feel like it would have been right. There wasn't really a way to avoid talking about making our music not be completely representative of like how we're feeling and what's been happening to like our friends and ourselves and our families. And Writing Melt was the first song I'd written on guitar in like probably over a year, just because I didn't feel like writing music. I didn't really feel like I had anything worth saying from my perspective. But then joining a band with Susie, and like Susie specifically going like, I want to write a song that says fuck ice, and I was like, okay, cool, like let me sit down and write something for her to say fuck ice over. And like it was a nice way to like focus and combine that.
I'm a child of immigrants. All my family's from Mexico, Tamaulipas specifically, and growing up as a child of immigrants in Kennesaw before it was pretty diverse thanks to KSU. It was certainly an experience. You learn very young as a person of color that you're different. Seeing the way things got so ramped up so fast as soon as Trump became president, and seeing like what was happening in LA, but also my own parents' experience. There's been numerous times where I called them and they're like, yeah, we're getting stopped again. They're just asking us like for documentation and stuff, and that doesn't feel good. And seeing people who look like my uncle, people who look like my cousins, people who look like me, and not only just the Hispanic community. I mean, they're kind of going after pretty much everyone that they don't agree with or like. I can't have a platform and a stage and a microphone in my hand and not say shit. And when we started this band, one of the things that I've said was, I just want to scream about my feelings, and I have a lot of feelings about everything that's going on right now. Growing up, when I would go to these shows, I would be the only femme person and the only person of color in these rooms, and I often felt very out of place. Like, I loved the music, but it felt like the community was not willing to accept people like me yet. And then now, like, since COVID, there's just been this huge boom from what I've noticed of, like, all these amazing new bands with, like, people who look like me and, like, a lot of people from the queer community, and it's super, super fucking cool. And I feel like the reception we've had so far has just been mind-boggling. I keep telling my bandmates, like, what is happening? And it's been it's been very welcoming from the Atlanta community. They kind of just, like, really were receptive to us. And our first show at the Masquerade, it was a Sunday, it was Father's Day, so I was worried, like, okay, maybe not that many people will come, but at least we'll have, like, our friends. And then it got packed. And I had recently gotten tear gassed at the Chamblet protest a couple days before that. And so I really just, like, we just let it out. And seeing people, like, not even knowing our songs, like, moshing and crying. And that, to me, really solidified it to me. I was like, okay, we're cultivating our own space and our own path in this really cool community.
I grew up in Central Florida. I love the scene in Atlanta by comparison. I didn't get into heavy music until I lived here and started a band with James, because the Central Florida hardcore scene sucks. And if, like, you're not already in it, you're not getting in. So it's been very, very cool that Atlanta has been so inclusive of different people and not gatekeeping. It's very much, the gate's wide open, come on in. Oh, you haven't been to a show like this before? Cool, this is how it goes. I just don't see people getting excluded. It's something that I think Atlanta is good about too, is there's, like, a lot of really cool, like, mixed bill shows. Like, it's not crazy to see, like, like a death metal band and, like, a hardcore band and, like, a post-punk or a shoegaze band all on the same bill. So because of that, like, everything's kind of, like, a bit cross-pollinated. And Atlanta's just, like, a wildly diverse city, and a lot of people are from different places, like the three of us in this back row. That's created a bit of a culture of inclusivity. Like, Atlanta is, like, kind of like the diversity hub of the Southeast. Like, I've been here for close to a decade now. Someone new moves here, like, oh, cool, let me show you the ropes because other people did this for me. Yeah. And
come out to a show.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, how do I meet people? What do I get plugged in with? Come to the show.
It's a big little city, too. If you are acting like a dickhead to other bands and, like, being just, like, being overall a negative presence, like, it's gonna get around and it's gonna, like, come back and bite you in the ass, as it should.
Something that we've been doing at every show is having a donation box. We've recently raised money for the Latino Community Fund. We also raised some money for GLAR as well. I think a really good way to help the community further is to allow those spaces to not only be inclusive of everybody, but also to bring in organizations too.
It's important to speak out and spread the message, a message that can be spread in person and, like, also online, because online space is important. We need to build community and networking. It's important for people to know their neighbors. Going to a show is a great way to know your neighbors. That's, like, how we build power as a community and not let the state have a monopoly on the power and everything that happens in our life. Get involved with some mutual aid. Even if you can only provide a little bit, every little bit counts.
I think, unfortunately, we're going to be struggling with more of what's already been happening with gentrification and, like, losing DIY spaces, losing venues, which creates just less opportunity and more competition rather than camaraderie. Atlanta is struggling with that, like every other city. Although, like, the cool part of that is Atlanta always tends to react with, like, house venues popping up. Like, anytime a venue closes, I feel like I hear about 2 random, like, new DIY house spaces popping up, which is still special, and I feel like Atlanta's way of fighting back. But I think that's going to continue to be a struggle. We're gonna keep losing spaces that, like, people can actually meet in and organize and play shows and just hang out. And the more we lose that, the harder it is for us to, like, organize.
I'll interject and say we need more practice spaces here. There's not a lot of options.
Yeah, for kids to get together and just, like, be loud without someone calling the cops on them or yeah, it needs to be more places for people to actually like start bands and learn how to play drums. We need more drummers.
Yeah.
Drummers.
God, we need
If
more
you're watching this,
Yeah,
learn how to play drums.
Learn how to
Yeah,
play
you can
drums.
play the only
I know. Me and James.
I play drums. Learn how to play drums.
Yeah.
Please. It's
I
so
was-
fun, I swear.
I will say though, I feel like the younger generation is really holding up Atlanta right now.
Yeah.
It's been so cool to see all these younger bands coming up, especially since COVID. It's almost like a renaissance that's kind of happening right now, and I want it to keep going. And even with like the pushback and things getting harder, I just want to see us push back even harder.
And that should be plenty.